Water pours into a bowl. Her hand shakes above it. Behind her, the master's mat lies empty. He collapsed only minutes ago, carried away by two men who did not look back. Three guests sit in silence, hands folded, eyes on her wrist. She has never poured alone before today. No apprentice is ever ready when the bowl is placed in her hands. Not the potter at his first firing, not the soldier at his first gate, not the mother holding her first child. Readiness was always a story people told afterward, once the pouring was already done. She lifts the kettle. Her name is Naoko, the youngest of Master Renjiro's 4 students. She has trained here 2 years, long enough to fold a cloth correctly, not long enough to trust her own hands with guests like these. When the master's breath caught mid-sentence and he sank sideways onto the mat, it was Naoko who reached him first. 2 men carried him to his room without looking back. Someone had to serve the tea already prepared. The guests are not ordinary. A retired court scholar and his wife, who traveled 2 days to sit in this room. Behind Naoko, Emmy, the senior apprentice, 4 years trained, stands with her arms folded. Emmy does not want to help her. Emmy wants to be asked to take over instead. Naoko feels this without turning around. A tightness behind her ribs that has no other name. She kneels before the kettle. 400 nights she has practiced these movements alone in her small room, until her hands knew them without her mind's help. But practiced alone in an empty room is not the same as performed before eyes that expect her master's perfection and will accept nothing less. The scholar's wife watches her hands the way a hawk watches a field. Naoko lifts the bamboo scoop. Her fingers do not shake. Not yet. She measures the leaves. She warms the bowl. Each motion she learned by watching Master Renjiro's hands 1,000 times, memorized like a prayer. Emmy steps forward before Naoko can pour. "Let me finish this," Emmy says quietly, not unkindly. "You have not served guests of this rank before." The scholar's wife glances between them, waiting. Naoko's hands go still over the bowl. For one long breath, she almost agrees, almost rises, almost hands the kettle to the steadier hands beside her. Doubt moves through her like cold water, finding every crack in a wall. But the kettle is already in her hands, and Master Renjiro's voice returns to her, something he said the first week she arrived. The tea does not care who pours it, only that it is poured with the whole of the person present. She does not know if she believes this yet. She pours anyway. Her hand shakes, just slightly, as the water meets the leaves. She cannot hide this from herself, even if the guests do not notice. Emmy steps back, arms still folded, waiting to be proven right. Naoko continues the form as she was taught. 3 turns of the whisk, the bowl angled just so, the cloth folded in the exact manner Master Renjiro always used. She is copying him, gesture for gesture, and something about the copying feels hollow, even as her hands move correctly. Then her hand slips. The 4th turn of the whisk comes out uneven, the foam thinner on one side than the master would ever allow. For a moment, she freezes, certain this small imperfection has ruined everything. But there is no time to start again. She sets the bowl before the scholar's wife exactly as it is, imperfect, honestly made, her own hands visible in it rather than hidden behind an imitation. The old woman lifts the bowl. She does not comment on the foam. She simply drinks, slowly, watching Naoko's face the whole time. Not her hands anymore, her face. "You were thinking of him just now," the old woman says, "not trying to become him. There is a difference." Naoko's breath catches. No one has ever said this to her before. Naoko serves the second bowl differently now, not performing memory, but paying attention to the guest in front of her. The way the scholar holds his cup low against the cold, the way his wife's shoulders have softened since her first sip. Emmy watches from the doorway, no longer certain of what she is watching. Something in the room has changed that has nothing to do with technique. The scholar speaks quietly to his wife between sips, and though Naoko cannot hear the words, she can see the ease settling into both their faces, guest to guest, the kind of ease that cannot be forced by perfect form alone. Her hands are steadier now, not because she trusts her training more, but because she has stopped trying to disappear behind it. When the ceremony ends, the scholar bows low, lower than custom requires for a young apprentice. "Your master trained your hands well," he says. "But today, you were here, truly here. That is rarer than good form and harder to teach." Naoko feels something break open in her chest. Not sorrow, something closer to relief long overdue. She had spent 2 years trying to become a copy worth trusting. She understands now, sitting in the quiet after the guests bow and rise, that presence was never something she needed to earn. It was only ever something she needed to stop hiding behind performance. Master Renjiro recovers within the week and hears the story from Emmy herself, who tells it without envy, only wonder. He never asks Naoko to repeat the ceremony exactly as he taught it again. He asks her instead to simply be present the next time she kneels before the kettle, and to let her hands find their own honest way. If Naoko had waited to feel ready, she might still be waiting. Zen calls this the beginner's mind. Not a lack of skill, but an absence of hiding. The tea was never about flawless form. It was about whose hands, whose breath, whose full attention met the bowl in that single moment. Whatever task waits in your hands right now, a duty passed to you before you felt prepared, a role no one else wanted, it does not require your perfection. It asks only that you meet it fully, the way water meets a cup already offered. Presence, not readiness, was always the master's true lesson. Years later, Naoko kneels before her own students and pours water into a bowl. Her hand does not shake now, not because she has stopped feeling unready, but because she no longer waits for readiness before beginning. The kettle tips, the water falls, clear and unhurried, into the waiting bowl. What is the bowl already placed in your hands, waiting only for you to stop preparing and simply pour? Keep seeking, keep growing, and keep shining. Subscribe to join us for the next one.